Welcome to this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. I'm Mike Kinney, your host. Each week we have the pleasure of interacting with all the cool people, the builders, the owners, the collectors, and museums of what consists of our car culture, whether it's a hobby, it's your day job, or just your passion. We like to check all the boxes, if you will. Well, today, man, it just everything kind of comes together. Yeah, I'm excited. I will apologize in advance. We got Dan Bosch Jr., and this is the folks, the Antique Auto Shop, and these guys have been at this for a while. They've been, check this out, they've been at this over 50 years. So it isn't like, 3 months ago, hey, let's go ahead and start up a hot rod shop. I got to read some of the cars they've played with. Whoa, 37 Cadillac Convertible Coupe, or Coupe, right? A 1954 Packard Caribbean, and my personal favorite, I'm a Mopar guy. I apologize in advance. Maybe I won't. 1970 Dodge RT 444 speed. Whoa. Yeah, they're a player in this. But enough about me trying to tell you what they're like. They've got a great video they shared with us that explained their shop and their philosophy. Hey, Rick, hit that play button, buddy. I like that quality service for the quality customers. Well, I think we're going to be able to reach out through our magic wiring, and we're going to have Dan join us here. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Excellent. And we want to thank you so much for being on our show. And for the viewers, I'm minding my own business as at the Las Vegas Concours with our good friends that put that on at the Wynn. And there's a nice Superbird there owned by Jeff Dunham, one of the amazing entertainers there in the Las Vegas Strip. And I'm talking to this guy, and about 30 seconds of the conversation, I'm going, he knows quite a bit about Superbirds. That'd be you. So, and then we started chatting. I got a chance to meet your wife, and I think your daughter was with you. And just the more I learned about what you guys are doing, man, you guys got it going on. It's over 50 years. That's kind of unheard of, to be candid, right?
We started in 1969. There were two gentlemen. This was their passion, and they quit whatever they were doing and started the Antique Auto Shop, restoring cars for friends, became a business. And then they sold the business in 1989 to another gentleman named Terry Kesselring, who operated it until 6 years ago when he died suddenly of a heart attack. And I have known Terry since the mid to late 90s. We became close friends. I was involved with the business since then. Wow. It all started as I wanted to do the restoration on my first car, which is a 67 Olds 442 convertible. Woo-hoo. I still own it. Nice. I've had it for 38 years now. Yeah. It's still not finished, the cobbler and the...
Of course not.
But, after his untimely passing, his wife asked if I was ready to take the reins over. That was about 6 years ago. And we've increased, dramatically increased production, increased customer base. We have customers from all over the world. We have one from the Netherlands, Arkansas, Michigan, Maryland, Connecticut, all over the place.
Wow. Excellent. It's a great history. And so for the king of segue there, Dan, I think we got a few pictures of your shop. So for the viewers, yeah, they got a few things going on here. And I just like this marquee, the statement, celebrating over 50 years of restoration excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got a couple of shots coming up. There we go. So, yeah, you guys got a little bit elbow room there.
Well, we're stacked and packed. Everybody keeps asking us if we're going to expand, but I don't want to expand. I like to concentrate on the quality that we give in small segments to our customers. Perfect. And if I tell someone it's going to be a year before you can get into the shop to have the work performed, most people are okay with that. They know they're going to the right place, and they'll wait.
Yes.
If somebody tells you they can get you in right now, that's not a shop you want to go to.
That's it. You're right on target. And as I understand, okay, for the viewers, yeah, cool. It's always neat they see sparks. But I believe this is a member of your team. You're actually having to fabricate some parts as well for some of the cars, right?
Some of the cars, if we cannot source the parts, we make them. Sometimes we make them,
I love it.
cast them, and then we send them off to have them chrome plated because we have 1954 Kaiser Frazer with a Darren body. They made 435 of them. We can't call AutoZone or O'Reilly's and get a part. Friends, and they see us calling, they're like, "Oh my God, what do they want now?" So,
Exactly.
so if we can't find it, we make it.
Wow. Very, very cool. And again, for the viewers, I think you're going to start getting a sense how unique this shop is. I've went to some shops and it looks like they had a box of parts and they just kind of scattered it across the shop floor and hope they can find all the bolts, right? You guys take a little different approach to this. You have a system.
We do. Every car that comes in everything gets taken apart, photographed, logged in inventory, bagged and tagged, and everybody has a spot in our mezzanine, a shelving unit per se, with their items. And if we need them, we can go back and forth to them. We also put rolling carts right next to the cars with all the parts we're currently working on, because you don't want to lose customers' parts. That doesn't look good. But when people come to do the shop, they want to see that it's neat, it's clean, it's organized.
Thank you.
And you've got your stuff together.
Yes. You're preaching to the choir, brother. And what I like about this shot, again, for the viewers, so that this is one of your team members talking to a customer. I think it looks like some interior or paint options, right?
Correct. Our interior guys, great guys. They worked for me for several years, upholstery work on the side on the weekends, and they decided to open their own upholstery shop, but they still do upholstery for us in-house.
Beautiful.
They created a company called Stinky Stitchin'. They're great. They're just 15 minutes from us. But yes, we are going over everything that we need for a 1964 Galaxy convertible 4-speed 427 dual carb car that the owner bought brand new. He's the original owner.
No way. I love it.
He's in his 80s, but he bought it brand new.
Oh, I love it. Now, I understand there's some history. This sign's, 70 some years old?
We haven't put an exact date on it, but it is from the 40s, most likely. And it was laying around the shop, and literally I restored the metal part, the housing of it, and there's a company in Cincinnati, which we're very close to.
Yep.
And I sent it to them. They're part of the National Sign Museum, and they relamped the neon for a very reasonable price, and now it hangs in our showroom.
That is as cool as it can be. And to me, that when you walk in and you see signage like that, obviously you guys have taken a lot of time to do it right. That speaks volume on your commitment to how you're going to treat their car.
We try to, and we're upfront. We're very transparent. When somebody comes in, we're going to tell them, this is a huge financial commitment.
Yes.
If you're okay with this, we'll proceed.
That's right.
If you're worried about spending $150 to have your car towed in for an evaluation, well, you're not our customer. If you can't spend, let's think about it.
Well, and I liked your conversations a couple of moments ago, Dan. You mentioned about when people walk in, they want to see a clean shop. I do a lot of work with companies on culture, and I've told them, I said, if you're from out of town and you go to 2 or 3 different used car lots in this town, you don't know anybody. When you walk across the lot, when you walk into where their shop is, where their showroom is, you're going to get this impression before you spoke to anybody, right? And they go, oh, I said, yeah, so you're right on target. Okay, hold on. We get a chance now to, obviously, we're talking about a shop, so we probably ought to be fair to everybody and tease them a little bit with some of your builds. Hold on to your socks, y'all. This is like extra cool cars. And a couple you may not seen. This is breathtakingly cool. I know it's is it in the 30s or the 40s era?
That is actually a Claney. Sylvester Stallone actually owned one of those, and it was in the movie Rocky. They were made in Santa Barbara, California. It's a Ford driveline, so it's not exactly a kit car, but Claney made them. The problem is they wanted to make 250 of them. I think they made around 240 or 42 before they went under. But yes, that is a Claney, has a 351 Ford engine in it. the car's it's breathtaking. What's
Yeah.
interesting about that car is if you look at the windshield, the mirrors, and the doors, those are from an MG.
Really? Wow. Yeah, it's just got such a great stance to it. I think we got a couple other cars. There you go. You got to have a bow tie in here somewhere, right? Is that about a 63, 64?
Yeah, that car, those are just phenomenal cars. I mean,
Yeah.
you talk about go fast goodies. Anything from 58 to 64.
Yeah.
But those builds were great in 65. But then you got into the little bigger Impalas and things like that from 66, 7.
Yeah.
And we just had a 427 SS Impala leave the day. And it was her car. The gentleman bought it for his wife.
Oh, I love it.
And we did a lot of work. I mean, it's her car, and she'll
Yeah.
tell you it's great. We
Beautiful.
like women in the sport, especially if somebody
Absolute-
keeps us and the wives on board. Well, then husbands hit a home run. But
You
when the
got that right.
when the husband's on board and the wife owns the car, it's even better.
Now, I've seen some Woodies, but I've never quite seen anything like this. Wow.
So we took a Dodge Power Wagon,
Yep.
cut the cab off, and made a Woody out of it for a gentleman in Texas.
Really? Because it had a power wagon, has a power wagon feel to it.
Yeah. It's a Power Wagon Woody. Custom or Woody.
Custom. Of course, you guys. Yeah, we'll just cut this off, put it together, and then go ahead and wood it. Yeah.
There are probably 500 or 600 hours of just woodwork on that car.
Oh, yes, sir.
That
Yes,
truck.
sir. Wow. Beautiful. Hello. Well, so we had a bow tie. We got to have a goat in the family too, right? As far as so we can show off.
We do a lot of GTOs right now. We currently have a 67 4-speed GTO in black that's in for a full restoration. We just finished a 68. So we do a lot of Buick Olds Pontiacs in here.
Beautiful.
American Muscle, anything. If it's any car can be restored. It's just a matter of how much homework you have to do to,
Yep,
to put
get
into
it there.
to make it correct.
And I think we got a couple more here. Wow. So you guys literally touch the spectrum of anything automotive.
Yeah, that is a 1909 Oldsmobile that we restored for a local automotive dealership. There's a huge automotive dealership around here that they brought that car to us. It's been in their family since probably the 50s or 60s.
Oh my God.
It probably should have gone to a junkyard, but they wanted it restored back to the way it was in 1909.
Wow, beautiful. I think we got, and I'm an old Mopar guy, definitely old, but there's something about the early Jaguars or the Jaguar with a long hood. That's just sexy.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I like the cars in the coupes better than the convertible, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe Enzo Ferrari deemed that the most beautiful car ever made.
Oh, and Enzo would know, right? And I think we got a shot in the engine bay. Yeah, there's a whole lot of mechanical stuff going on there. Wow.
Yeah, they're wonderful cars. I think they were ahead of their time in styling and looks, and their look is timeless. You'll never, nobody will ever replicate that.
So now for the viewers, and I've had the pleasure, I've done a lot of car shows just like Dan, and we bump into each other at a Concours event. And I talk to people and they say, well, that's nice looking paint. They start asking me about a paint job. And a lot of people think, well, you go down, $500-600 and they put it in the booth and they spray it outside the car and it's done. Well, we've got this video of them. And Dan, if you can kind of walk us through this, runs probably maybe around a minute. So for the viewers, check out what it takes to do a paint job correctly. So obviously, Dan, you got a lot of everything configured so you can reach around all the corners, the cowl piece is separate, so you can just touch each little area of it, right, buddy?
Yes, and we also try to replicate how it may have been painted on an assembly line, or make sure that we get the edges, the overspray where it needs to be, etc. That is a 68 RS Camaro that we restored for a customer that he has owned since the 90s. It came to us. It was maroon, And
Wow.
we started taking the car apart, and I asked him if he wanted to go back to the original color, and he said absolutely. And we have won Concours events with that car as
Yeah.
well.
Beautiful.
It's a stunning car. It really is.
And what's
68 Camaro.
yeah, what fascinates those shots is you can just see where the A and the B pillars are, where the door sill is. A lot of that gets covered up with items as you assemble the car, but you guys want to know it's there properly before you jump on it. Okay, before we go forward, and I apologize in advance, these aren't necessarily the easiest questions, especially for somebody like you. To date, we'll put it there with a comma behind it, what's your favorite automotive memory? I know, I'm sorry.
Well, I would have to say that I love Mercedes-Benz. It's one of my favorite cars. Oldsmobile was my first car. I have a
Yep.
huge love for Oldsmobile, but the engineering that went behind some of the earlier Mercedes, I love them.
Yeah.
I had a customer that came into the shop 4 or 5 years ago with a 230 SL Pagoda, one of my all-time favorite cars. He ended up in not so great health, and his wife said he needed to sell the car.
Yeah.
He offered the car to me at a ridiculous price. But the neat thing about the car is he bought it from the original owner at 94 years old about 12 years ago.
Oh, my stars.
When the woman that owned the car, she bought it at Shepherd Service in Cincinnati, Ohio. He was giving tennis lessons at their house to the kids when he saw that car come down the driveway on day one.
Get out.
And I have every bit of service history,
Beautiful.
everything with that car, the original key fob, everything. The car is 100% untouched, original. I am going to do the convertible top because the convertible top is deteriorating.
So in the world of concours, it has a lot of providence.
It does. It is not a Concours car, and I will tell you, I drive the hell out of it.
Good for you. Well, this kind of feeds into my next question. We got more pictures coming up, cool stuff. What's your favorite automobile? I think you might have answered it. Is it the Mercedes? Is that the one that really scratches your itch? Or is it your 442?
Well, clearly I love Mercedes and I love Mercedes. But I've always said there are no more beautiful cars in the world than British cars, like the Jaguar we just saw.
Yeah.
So if I could have any car, if I could pick one, I'm also a movie buff. I love James Bond movies.
Oh,
if I could have an Aston Martin DB5, 63 to 65, that would be it for me. David Brown car all day long.
I absolutely love it. So now, Dan and the crew, they're not ones to just kind of sit in the shop with the doors closed all the time, cranking away. They get a little media exposure. I think we got a shot here. I believe, are you with a local broadcast affiliate in studio?
Yes, that was in Louisville, Kentucky. They were doing promotions on local businesses that have been around for a while, and they asked me if we would be on the news, and we did. It's not. I mean, we don't need to do the advertising, but we do like people to know we're here. And we have a neat story to tell.
You have an amazing story to tell. And also what's kind of neat is you all reach out to some of the clubs, and we got a picture. So they're able to come in. They can have a meeting at your house, so to speak. Right, bud?
That is our front showroom. And yes, we have the Corvette guys, the British Car Club, AACA. If they want to have a meeting here, we allow them to have their meeting. They bring in pizza or whatever. We give them some food, some drinks, and they have their meeting, conduct their business. We give them a tour of the shop, which it's a lot of times hard to get them out of the shop and have them start to conduct their meeting. It's like herding feral cats. It really is.
And I think we got it. I think that might be you up there at the lectern, isn't it? Kind of letting them know how business is or what?
Well, yeah, they always ask me to speak a little bit about the shop and what we have in here and what's going on. So I don't necessarily like doing that and being up in front of everybody, but why not?
Perfect. And obviously, when you have a shop like yours, like say, you've got clientele worldwide now. People know who you are, and you don't necessarily have to worry about buying an ad in the Yellow Pages. You haven't heard that phrase in a while. But at the same point in time, you guys are very active with some of the different show circuits and some of the events. So I like this first shot coming up. And yeah, there's your booth, and naturally, you got to have a great car in it with you.
Mm-hmm. That actually is the 34 Plymouth PE Coupe that we took to Las Vegas in November to the Concord Elegance. And we took that to the Cavalcade of Customs here in Cincinnati.
Beautiful.
We restored that car about 15 years ago. It still shows perfectly.
Wow.
And that's a testament to when someone comes in and they want a $5,000 paint job. Well, I don't even think Mako or Rochard, they're not even around. They don't, you can't get a $5,000 paint job from them. We're going to give you a paint job that's going to last you 25, 30 years.
There you
go. It's going to be done properly. And when they find the cost, they're usually, they're taken aback at first, but then they realize this is an investment.
Yes, is absolutely correct. And I think that's a Camaro. Was that the one that was in the booth?
That is correct. That is at the Keeneland Concord Elegance.
And you guys actually got some awards with this car.
We have. We've gotten awards at Keeneland, at Cincinnati Concours. We got a Best in Class at Las Vegas Concours 3 years ago. It was 21, I believe. Yeah. 2 years ago.
Very, very cool. And there is the car we just talked about.
You are correct.
Yeah. Wow. And we've actually covered the Concours event, and we want to thank the Win, and then having builders like yourself come out from Ohio to bring these amazing automobiles. I'm not sure if you can find a better venue here in Nevada than to have it at the Win Resort, right?
It's absolutely stunning. Stuart Sobek, who's the chair, I've been with him since and when his Concours began. Yeah. And his dream was to make it a world-class event. And he's done it.
Yes, he has.
It doesn't. It's an amazing event that just there aren't words. The weather's perfect. Yeah. Every time of year that he has it, it's the car matches the Wynn Hotel. I mean, can't be better than that.
Exactly. We've known Stuart for many years. Great guy. I think we got a few more. Now, then you all just decide to kind of open your doors in your front yard, so to speak, and says, well, how about we just do a cruise in here at the shop?
We do it every year.
Wow.
Usually it's the second week of September, second Saturday in September. And it just gets, people they can walk through the shop, ask questions. It generates business for us, of course, but we have a DJ and we have food and we have split the pot, et cetera, et cetera. And we do it for a local charity we deal with. But, that being said,
I appreciate you guys having some Mopars there, by the
way. They're well represented. But this year, 2023 will be our last year for our open house cruise-in because of all of the Concours shows that my wife and I attend and travel to, and a lot of them I judge. People have asked us why we don't have one here. Well, there is a 700-acre park directly across from downtown Cincinnati called DeVue Park. So we are going to have the inaugural Concours DeVue in DeVue Park next September, 14th and 15th. It's going to be an amazing event. It literally looks like you're looking down into like downtown Los Angeles or something, and the lights at night are spectacular. So it's a venue.
There you go.
So interestingly enough, our local Mercedes dealership, I asked them if I could use that 300 SL going for our photo shoot. Yeah. And, I rarely would ever get to sit in one. Well, they threw me the keys for the night, and I said, "You're kidding me, right?
Oh my goodness!
You paid $2.2 million plus fees for this car at Amelia Island," and they said, "You work on this, you break it, you fix it." So I gladly use for the night.
Well,
yes.
Rick, before you move off this picture, I really like the tagline: "The Concours with a View."
That's right, because the view is spectacular.
Wow!
And the tagline for our shop is "Delivering dreams to driveways."
Oh, I love that. Dang, that you thought about that one for a little while, and it fits, and it's very apropos for what you guys are doing. Well, before we say goodbye, we always like to kind of, towards the tail end, get a shot of everybody that kind of makes all of this happen. So I think we got a picture of you with your family. I think I met them in Vegas, right?
Well, the blonde one was my wife, Denise.
Yep.
We've been married for 30 years. And Lindsay is our front office manager, and she travels with us to several events.
Perfect.
And that photo was taken at America's Packard Museum. I'm part of that organization, and that was at their annual spring fling they have at the end of every April. It's a great event in Dayton, Ohio. Yeah.
So for the viewers, because we're going to get some contact information here up on screen in just a moment, for the viewers who have not had the opportunity to attend a Concours, especially one of the phenomenal quality you're going to have in Ohio, what's a couple good reasons they want to set aside time to be able to attend one of those amazing events?
Well, ours is in Kentucky, which has the view of Cincinnati.
Perfect.
And it's going to be everything Kentucky, where it's going to concentrate on everything that has to do with our area. People, when they visit Kentucky, they're amazed. When I speak to people from around the country and they look at me, "You're from Kentucky?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I'm not super educated with this." But we have beautiful weather in September.
Yes, you do.
It's going to be around bourbon. It's going to be around everything that has to do with our area in Kentucky, which hasn't been done before. So we're looking forward to it.
Beautiful. And years ago, I lived outside Cincinnati, Ohio. To fly into Cincinnati, you actually landed in Kentucky. So the first time that happened, I was kind of confused. But it was.
Yeah, I imagine if you're traveling and the pilot says, "Welcome to Kentucky," I'm sure people are looking out the window going, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
But the airport is 15 minutes from.
That's perfect. So the dates for your Concours again are?
It will be September 14th and 15th.
Perfect.
September next year, 2024.
And we got some contact information for your shop. So Dan, if you could walk us through that quickly.
TheAntiqueAutoShop.com is our website. That is our
Perfect.
office phone number. And info@TheAntiqueAutoShop.com or TheAntiqueAutoShop@gmail.com. And those emails come straight to our computer.
Perfect. Well, brother, we can't thank you enough for being on the show. You do amazing builds. Thank you so much for all your time you spent with me at the Concours here. Your wife is kind of going, "Honey, I know you and Mike are talking, having a good time, but we've got to go see some other cars." And we also want to thank you for your sponsorship of the Benedict Castle event. Those are good friends of mine, Von Hot Rod and McGuire family. So thank you guys very much for being one of those sponsors as well.
Great people, great, fabulous people, and it's a great event.
And I also like to extend the invitation. I think we briefly talked about this at the Las Vegas Concours. Maybe sometime around June, July-ish, we'd love to have you as our returning featured guest, and we'll focus on your amazing Concours event coming up in September.
I would love to talk more about it. That'd be great.
Perfect. Well, Dan, I can't thank you enough, and you all have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
You too. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much.
You bet, man. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. You got to check out what's going on at the Antique Auto Shop. I think you got a sense. Number one, are the real deal. They do quality builds for quality customers. And I love that tagline, from taking dreams to the driveway. And until next time, enjoy the ride.